Hey, Code Blue family, super excited to be doing another episode with you guys. So today we'll talk about fear. Now, I know that fear can be also overwhelming and be hard for you to maybe feel like you can start your business and kind of grow in that. So, we'll talk about 5 proven strategies to help you overcome fear while starting and launching your business. I know when I first started out within entrepreneurship, fear was definitely a major factor. I know I kind of talked about my journey in my other video that you can definitely check out. And I talked about how I didn't have much money. I started out, I actually was laid off from my current job. I had a corporate job at the time, and I wasn't making a lot of money at that time. However, it was some money. I was able to pay my bills with it, right? But I always had aspirations of going into real estate. And so, with having aspirations of going into real estate, it was very hard for me to be able to like go into real estate full time. And some of you may be in this journey where maybe real estate is your passion, but it may also be another industry. But of course, for the sake of this video, I'll talk more about just real estate, right? So, with real estate, it's a commission based industry. And so, one of my major fears was the fact that I don't have like I wouldn't have an actual paycheck coming in every 2 weeks. And then if you start out in real estate, you'll often hear a lot of people who are very seasoned in the industry will tell you, hey, either hopefully you have a lot of savings or you have some sort of system set up for financial comfortability when going into real estate. So even if anyone that may be watching this video, if you're considering like, oh, I want to quit my job and become a realtor, I can do a whole nother video like talking about that if that's something that you guys want. And you can just drop comments below to let me know if you want to know more information about that, because I know oftentimes people see that industry, they look at it as very glamorous, and they don't understand that there are trials and tribulations with being a realtor, especially with maintaining your own bills. And what I mean by that is just maintaining your, if you rent right now, or if you own a home and you have a mortgage, basic bills, your water bill, your electric, those are basic necessities that don't go away when following your dream. So that's another thing, like understanding like how to overcome those fears when going into starting a business. And we'll talk about more of that in this video. And of course, just make sure that you stick around to the end, because you'll have all the tools that you need to turn your fear into fuel. So let's talk about understanding your fear. So where exactly does that fear come from? That fear can be, like I said before, kind of getting into covering your basic necessities each month. What does that look like for you? How is that going to be mapped out? How are those bills going to be paid? Because they're not going to stop. I know oftentimes, and I know this may seem cliche, or it may not necessarily be something you want to hear. A lot of people that you see on different platforms will kind of tell you, like quit your job, go into your passion full time. That'll kind of fuel you, as far as like if you don't have anything to rely back on, then you gotta go get it. You gotta go push forward and hustle and grind for your business. However, that may not be realistic to someone who, you may have 2 kids, or you may have other responsibilities such as you're a caregiver. You want to understand exactly like where your fear is coming from. For you, it may be you have a substantial amount of savings. However, you may look at it from the aspect of, I don't know if this is going to work out. It might look like a fear of failure, right? It might look like, I don't know where my next is coming from, so I don't know if starting a business is a good idea. Take time to actually develop like a key plan. I would suggest grabbing a notebook, piece of paper, as I always say, whichever writing technology you want to use, and begin to kind of just write down exactly like, what are you afraid of? I once heard a quote that I thought was pretty awesome, where they said, fear is just a figment of your imagination. However, danger is very real. And so we have to figure out exactly like what's fueling your fear. What's making you not want to start? Is it procrastination? Is it, I don't know if I'm going to make it? And then sometimes, honestly, and I think this is something that I've struggled with as well, having a fear of success. For fear of making it, and maybe fear of like, well, what if this becomes, overwhelming for me? So you have to really understand, like, and get down to the truth as far as the foundation of what you're actually afraid of, as far as what's preventing you from starting a business and what may also be preventing you from growing your business. Remember, fear is not your enemy. It's oftentimes that you are on a new journey of something exciting and new. Now, let's shift your perspective, because when going into entrepreneurship, and I'm sure you may have heard this as well before, entrepreneurship is not for the weak. If you are a person that gives up easily, if you are a person that you throw in the towel, if you're a person that does not like to problem solve, entrepreneurship, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not for you. And that's okay. Entrepreneurship is not meant for everybody. However, for those select few who like, I'm called to do entrepreneurship, like that's my one of my purposes in life, then I would suggest, of course, continuing to stay diligent on this course. But if like, I want to give up, you quit at the first sign of a challenge or any sort of adversity, then this wouldn't be for you. Now, when we talk about shifting your mindset, right? If you know that, I really truly want to go into entrepreneurship, but I need to kind of clean up my mindset and kind of clean up some of those areas of my mind where I may not have the best thinking. So let's talk about, like some of the questions or the negative questions that might pop into your mind. You may ask yourself, well, what if I fail? Or what if people don't like my product? Or what if people don't want to utilize my services? You need to really figure out what it is at the foundation, as far as your mindset, so that you can shift that. I highly recommend daily affirmations. If you're not doing those, have those where you write out, my business will succeed. I will exceed my target revenue goal for the year. People will love my products. I will provide excellent customer service for every client that I encounter. These are things that you need to say daily to continue to not just shift your mindset, but build your confidence, especially if you're a new entrepreneur. So you want to grow in those areas as you continue to build. Don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. So that may look like, let's say, you're a hairstylist and you make wigs, right? That may look like, okay, you created one wig today, not necessarily an obsessive goal of you creating 20 in one day. Make sure that you're aiming for progress. Like, okay, my goal for this week, maybe there's 7 days in a week. I'm going to create 7 wigs, one wig each day over the next few days, whatever that may look like for you. But understand that it's better to have good progress where you're actually like achieving goals and actually completing them, versus to try to aim for perfection and you have an unrealistic expectation that you set on yourself that might actually end up stressing you out and cause burnout. Keep in mind, we want to make sure that your mental health is intact during this process, and that we're shifting your mindset during this process while going through launching your business or even growing your business. One pro tip would be to, of course, surround yourself by people that are inspiring, people that may have gone a similar journey as you. Listen to podcasts, ebooks, audibles. I know audibles are something that I really like, being able to listen to a book in the car, when I'm writing, or even at home. So just be able to surround yourself with people that are actually positive influences. Another pro tip that I will also recommend: be careful about who you share your vision with and who you share your business idea with. Everyone may not be happy for your success. Everyone may not be happy for this transitional period that you're going through when it comes to entrepreneurship. So be very mindful about who you share your goals with, your strategies with, your entrepreneurship journey with. And in the beginning, it may look like moving in silence. It may look like I'm going to show you better than I can tell you by my actions. So just be very careful of that. Oftentimes, for me, I'll just kind of share with you guys, like, I have a business idea that I've been working on for about over a year now, and only about 2 people know about it. I have not told my family. I haven't shared it with anyone, but I've been working on this. I've been studying this. I've taken classes to learn more about this specific industry that not a lot of people are tapped into. And it's important that when you're growing something new, people may not always understand what you're doing, or they may discourage you by their mindset. So just kind of keep your entrepreneurship journey and your goals when it comes down to whatever product or service you may be offering. I would kind of like keep that close to your heart for a while until you actually know, like, okay, this is when we're launching, this is my timeline. Just keep that close to your heart in the beginning. Consistency is key when starting a business or even growing a business. Even dedicating 20 to 30 minutes of your day towards your business can make a world of change over time. So for some of you, it may look like, hey, I work a 9 to 5, so I can only work on my business either before work or even after work. I know it's so funny. While making this video, I remember when I started out learning for real estate school. I had a huge, like very thick book, and then I had another like small state book. And I remember I would sometimes go to work. My shift started at like 8, but I would sometimes go to work at like 6 and be in my cubicle before like anybody arrived, before managers arrived or anything. And I would just be there like studying. So I would have my books out. I would make sure no one else was there. And I would study and I would read, and I would have my 5-star college rule notebook, and I would have that along with my books, and I would just be studying and reading and making flashcards. This would be before my shift, and oftentimes it would motivate me to want to strive harder for my entrepreneurship journey, knowing that I would come into work and I would feel accomplished, because I'm like, okay, I got what I wanted to get done for that day, and then now I'm doing, I'm transitioning into doing my work for the next 8 hours for my employer. And then sometimes even after work, I would stay. So I would get off around like 4:30. I would wait until everyone left and I would study. So I would do that sometimes, like get up, get there before everyone, study for about 2 hours. Then when everyone would leave, I would stay for like another like hour or two after that. I would typically leave like before like 7 to head home. But those would help, those time blocks helped me feel accomplished, and it gave me confidence to overcome my fear of rejection when it came to real estate, my fear of rejection when it came to entrepreneurship, and it helped build a level of self-confidence within me to be able to overcome my doubts and my fears of going into being an entrepreneur full-time. Every successful entrepreneur has failed at some point. The difference is that they didn't stop. They treat it as feedback, learn from it, and continue to move forward. So for example, let's say you launch a product and it didn't sell. Was my message unclear? Did I target the wrong audience? These are questions that you want to ask yourself so that you can refocus and, of course, try again. But don't give up. I want you to comment down below one fear that you've been trying to get over within your business, or one area of self-doubt that you're trying to overcome. Be sure to drop it down below in the comments. I love to help you overcome it. And thank you so much, of course, for allowing me to spend time with you, Kode Blue family. If you like this video, please be sure to thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.